The Bench, Gerald Goins, is a multi-platform experience to bring you into the history-making trial that started this morning. Gerald Goins is accused of being the mastermind behind a no-knock warrant that injured officers, killing 2 homeowners and their family dog. My colleague KPRC2 anchor Keith Garvin is live outside the Harris County Criminal Justice Center where that trial is taking place, continuing the Bench coverage tonight. Keith?
Yeah, Danielle, it was a little more than 5 years ago when I first reported on that no-knock raid in southeast Houston. The scene was massive and confusing and quickly got a lot of eyes on the case. District Attorney Kim Ogg charged Gerald Goins with the murders of Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nicholas. Today, he sat in the 482nd Circuit Court listening to opening statements with the jury that will decide his fate. Also inside that courtroom, KPRC2 investigates Mario Diaz. Mario was there. And Mario, quick start to the day.
Without a doubt, you had the prosecutors and the defense team opening up this entire trial with their statements in less than 1 hour. And prosecutors, led by Keaton Ford, went right to the character of Gerald Goins, portraying him as a bad cop.
The evidence will certainly prove beyond a reasonable doubt that Gerald Goins lied on that search warrant and that affidavit time after time after time. He used that search warrant to organize a group of officers to enter that home of Dennis Tuttle and Regina Nicholas, put together a tactical plan that authorized officers to shoot and kill that dog. That no-knock warrant was clearly dangerous to human life. And the evidence finally will show you that but for the actions of Gerald Goins, those 2 homeowners would still be alive. If you take Gerald Goins out of this equation, at 5:27 p.m. on January 28th of 2019, there's no unmarked white van pulling up on Harding Street. There's no officers pulling out of that van fully armed. No shots ring out. Dennis Tuttle, Regina Nicholas, and their dog Star are all peacefully at home. At the end of this trial, the evidence will show Gerald Goins is guilty of felony murder, and the state's about to prove it.
And that's how Keaton Force ended it for the prosecution. On the flip side, I know Nicole DeBoard come out, and what she said immediately was saying that you might not like Gerald Goins, but he is somebody who should not be found guilty of murder. Take a listen.
We believe, after you've heard all of the evidence, and I want to point out one thing more, as you're listening to the evidence in this case, watch those crime scene photos. Watch how things were collected. Watch how the evolution of them putting these pieces together evolves. And while it is true that you are not going to be happy with Gerald for some of the things that he said that were not true in that affidavit, and then later at the hospital in between 9 surgeries and a raging MRSA infection, where he stayed for 24 days after being shot in the face by Dennis Tuttle, you're going to be unhappy with him. He didn't murder anybody. He is not legally responsible for murder.
And Keith, what surprised me today is that you had the board come out and say that, listen, you're not going to like some of the things he may have done. And that was interesting, seeing her portray her client as such. Also intriguing in the fact that the prosecution revealed that Dennis Tuttle possibly fired up to 4 shots from his gun, and that they were hit with, that HPD fired over 40 rounds inside the house. Lastly, Gerald Goins, he's been quiet the entire time. Very briefly, for one quick point, he came up to me. He wanted to talk. He said, I just want to thank you guys for being fair to me, meaning KPRC2. We've tried to present, obviously, as we always do, both sides of the case. And I reminded him, you're under a gag order. You got to be careful talking. And then his attorney jumped in and said, yeah, Gerald, let's get away from this.
Yeah.
Very intriguing, though, to see him open up for a split second.
Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, well, I think a lot of questions are going to be answered that we've had for 5 years. Hopefully going to be answered in the next few weeks. Mario, thank you. We want to bring in KPRC2 legal analyst Brian Weiss now. Brian, okay, this trial received so much pre-trial publicity. Why was there not a change of venue in a case like this, especially one involving a well-known, highly decorated former officer?
For a couple of simple reasons, Keith. Look, this is just the latest of a long line of highly publicized, sensational, muy scandaloso cases tried in this building behind me without a change of venue because of the 4.7 million people in this county. Many of them don't watch TV, read the paper, or follow this case on their phones. And it's not what they may have heard or read or even what they think. It's whether they can set aside those opinions and render a verdict based on the law and the facts. To her credit, Judge Veronica Nelson decided those jurors and alternates could do exactly that. No change of venue, we stay home.
Okay. All right, Brian Weiss, Mario, thank you both. It's going to be 3, 4, 5 weeks of this. And for right now, that is going to wrap up our coverage of the bench on this first day of trial. The Harris County Criminal Justice Center. We're going to have a recap of everything tonight at 10 o'clock. For now, back to you, Randy.